Hey, this is Mark Tuggle from Mark Tuggle RV Center. You know, this week has been a very tough week on America, and I'd just like to make a statement and put it out there to our customers, my friends, and all, really the way I feel about things. Is it going to make a difference? I doubt it very seriously, but it may make people think a little bit differently. I'm not trying to get everybody to think the way I am. But after this past Tuesday with the shooting out in Texas, you know, that was a very hard thing for America. But you know, we all want to point the finger and put the blame to Democrats, Republicans, and all this, and these people and that people. You know what? It's all of our faults because we have evidently elected the wrong people to go to Washington, to go to the state capitol in each state. You know, there's just, it's y'all's fault that we're in the position we are. We never talk about gun control or school security and all until after it happens. How many times has it happened? And we talk about it for a week or two. Let me ask you, all the politicians, when was the last time y'all talked about it in a session? You know, hey, that's y'all's fault. You know, we try to point the finger all the time, and the worst thing in the world is to knowing that these families are having to bury their kids 10 years old. I've been looking at the pictures this week of all the kids and all, and it's so sad to even think, after having 5 children, having 11 grandchildren at this time, that we could be buried in one of ours. I just can't imagine how them families are going through it. And it's so sad that they having to go through it. And you know, I looked at the pictures and these kids was holding up their AB honor rolls with the biggest smile, having a perfect attendance record, holding a softball bat in her hands. She was so excited. The families having the pictures made, and hours later they was dead, useless. You know, gun control is, I'm not for gun control to a point, and then I am for gun control. I own guns. I have kids. I have grandkids around my house. We put them up. We know what to do. We're reasonable. But, you know, the way I look at it is, if you want to have a gun, that's your Second Amendment right. But you know what? That Second Amendment right don't say, well, you can buy 2 AR-15s. Now let me tell you something. If you got to have an AR-15 to go hunting, you need to start practicing shooting because you're not a very good shot. It is so sad that, you know, that the public can get them type of guns, and then they get out on the streets. I'm not saying that we should go out and collect all of them. That's about the ignorant thing in the world. And if people think they're coming to your house to collect your guns and all you are is just a damn idiot to even think that. The government's not going to come to your house to get it. So the people that think that way is dead wrong. They're not going to do that. But we got to do something. I mean, we got to do something. It is so sad to turn the news on, to look on the computer, and all these kids are getting killed. A school should be a safe zone. And these schools that put up there, you know, this is a gun-free zone. Yeah, that's ridiculous. We got to come together, not as Republicans, not as Democrats, but as one group of people that care about our nation, our kids. I wish they wasn't a Republican or a Democrat, because that is the foolishest thing in the world. And all your lifetime politicians that won't agree with me, but that's fine. You know, this past year at the Georgia Assembly, down at the Capitol, Andy Stanley came down there and spoke on, done a prayer on the 28th day. And he made a lot of sense. And I'd like for all you listeners or viewers of this to go and look that up on YouTube. Andy Stanley, Georgia Assembly, 28th day. And listen to what 14 minutes of what he has to say about our government. And it's a shame that half of them people was probably walking around while he was speaking, shuffling papers, not paying attention. But if you would pay attention to it and listen to it, you would understand. We don't need to start working on a bill on the left-hand side or the right-hand side. Guys and ladies, let's start in the middle and work outward when we have a problem like this. But if the Republicans want to do something one way, the Democrats want to do it one way, on the right and left, you're never going to come to a fix of it. You got to start in the middle and then work our way out. Watch that video of Andy Stanley. One of the best things, and I think every politician should listen to him. Take 14 minutes out of your day and listen to what he said about our governments and the way it should be ran. And you know what? The sad thing he said in there, the most saddest thing, Washington never will do that. And I tell you what, the blood of them 14, 19 kids and two teachers, may have the numbers wrong, but y'all know what I'm talking about. That's on the politician's hand. Because by granny, we don't talk about it until a bunch of kids get killed at school. And that's so darn terrible of all of our politicians. And listen, I've got friends as politicians, but I blame them for not trying to do something. And let's quit this damn Democrat and this Republican side. Let's get in the middle and start working the program out. You know, probably nobody's ever going to watch this. Maybe 3 or 4 people. I may have 10 people who watch it. But if you could share it with somebody, and maybe they know a politician that can make something happen and might make a change. But we don't need to wait 2 or 3 weeks and let it die down again and wait for the next shooting. It's really a shame that we even have to talk about that. But I can't imagine the way the families are that's out in Texas now that have to worry about burying a 10-year-old kid, the 2 teachers. You know what? You know what's going to be real sad is who wants to be a teacher anymore? That's the sad part. We have a shortage of teachers now. And then we let things like this happen. They want to do a different profession. And we need it worse now. And I'll tell you, I'm going to close this with one thing. It really starts at home. All these people that have kids can jump out, have sex, and do all this crazy junk, and then have kids, and then you don't want to raise them. And the last thing I'm going to tell you, you know when a lot of this started? We took the prayer, we took the Pledge of Allegiance, we took for even looking at the Bible in schools. That may be the only time these kids ever have an opportunity to hear that. We started taking that out, took the 10 Commandments off the walls of courthouses and all. But what did everybody say the other day? Let's pray for them. Well, we need to pray for people before this happens. We need to put God in their lives before this happens. And I don't care if I hurt somebody's feelings. I don't care if whatever your belief is, you got to have some type of belief. We got to put God in people's lives to change this world. And let's quit. Well, we can't do that because we're going to hurt this group of people, this group of people. You know what? I'm tired of hurting our kids. I don't want my grandkids to go to school and have to worry about being shot. But then when it happens, what do we want to do? Let's pray about it. Well, where was you at weeks and days before? Let's pray then. And maybe something like this wouldn't happen. I know half of you are going to think I'm crazy, but I got it off my chest now. And if you could share it with some people, maybe it might make a difference. If you don't agree with me, I still love you. And let's go out and make somebody smile today. And that's all I can say from Mark Tuggle RV Center today. But I do love you.